This is the Reading to Learn Math page for section 2.5 on midpoints. They show you some formulas in this box. If you're on a number line, you're taking your two endpoints, adding them and dividing by 2. If you're in a coordinate plane, you're going to have an x and a y value for your 2 points. You add both of those x's, divide by 2, add both of the y's and divide by 2. Both of these are showing you that you're just averaging the endpoints. Okay, so let's look at the reading the lesson portion. We're going to complete this sentence. On a number line, the coordinate of the midpoint is the sum of the coordinates of the endpoints of the segment divided by 2. The midpoint of a segment on the coordinate plane is always written as an ordered pair. The midpoint of the segment with endpoints 3, -5 and 5, -1 is, we need to average a 3 and a 5. What comes directly in between 3 and 5? 4 does. We need to average -5 and -1. What comes directly in between -5 and -1? -3. Sometimes they're really easy to do in your head like that. Sometimes you can just find the number that's directly in between the two that are given. Other times you have to use math. Number 2, true or false. If it's false, fix it so that it's true. Part A, the distance from one endpoint of a segment to the midpoint is the same as the distance from the other endpoint to the midpoint. That is true. That's what midpoint means. It's the same distance from each endpoint. Part B, the midpoint of the segment on a number line with endpoints -2 and +2 has the coordinate of 4. That's false. If these are the coordinates of your endpoint, the midpoint must be in between them. It can't be 4. 4 is bigger than 2. What's directly in between these two? 0 is. If you weren't sure, you would just add and divide by 2. Part C, the midpoint of a segment does not bisect the segment. Bisect just means split in half. A midpoint splits a segment in half. It does. You can cross out the word not. Number 3, explain how to mentally find the coordinates of the midpoint of segment AD given the endpoints A and D. Okay, so they want you to kind of use your head here. So you need to add your x values, 4 and -6. 4 plus -6 is -2. And I know when you divide that by 2, you get -1. -3 and +3. If you add those together, you get 0. And if you divide by 2, you get 0. So that's where the midpoint lives. They're asking you to explain it. How would you do it? Average the endpoints. It's really all you're doing. If you wanted to write one word, I would just write the word average. Number 4, on a number line, the midpoint of a segment is -2. Name 2 possible endpoints for that segment. Describe how you found the possible endpoints and show that your answer works. Okay, so here's a segment. Let's say -2 is the midpoint. Just pick an endpoint, and you can make it easy on yourself. I'm going to pick 0. I know that's 2 units away. Well, this endpoint better be 2 units away also, but going the other way. How do you know that works? Just average them.